So I had really good feedback the last time I did a clothing video, and people seem to appreciate the kind of budget-priced technical pant idea. All right, and I agree that there's kind of a big gap there between, you know, the Walmart quality pants all the way up to like the Fjallraven or something like that, and there's really not a whole lot in between that kind of meets the same intent. Right. This is the TruSpec 24/7 Xpedition pant, spelled with an X. Right. And when I got these, I will admit they were a little bit closer to the Fjallraven pricing than made sense. Right. They were floating right around $100, but I just hopped on Amazon and they're $65. And I think if I had paid $65, my opinion of these would be much, much different. Right? So they've got a lot of the same features that I look for in more of an outdoor type pant or a technical type pant. And I wanted to go over those with you real quick and give you my thoughts on these, because I think at $65 they're a pretty good deal. Alright, so they come in a variety of colors. They've got stretch panels on them, and depending on your preference, you can get the stretch panels matching or in a little bit of a contrasting color. So this is their gray colorway, and I'm not sure how great it's going to show up on the video, but the stretch panels are very, very similar in shade, especially in this colorway. So if you want them to show up, they show up just enough, and then if you don't, they blend in very well on this color. And they've got like a Ranger green and a black or something if you want the contrast. And then really the only one that doesn't make any sense to me is they've got a multicam, and all the stretch panels are coyote. And in my opinion, that one just looks like trash. I don't like the difference in color there. It doesn't work out well for that. I think they're going for like a cry type look, and they didn't really pull it off very well. All right, so we'll go from waist to foot and go through the features on this thing. All right, so it has a elasticized waistband here, and I will say this is probably my least favorite feature on these pants, just because it has so much give. All right, if you get these things true to size, so that you're not trying to get them tight, they have too much stretch, in my opinion, and they basically require a belt. Now, I'm not saying I don't wear a belt on the regular, but sometimes you just don't want to have to throw one on, and if you've got anything in your pockets at all, it's pretty much a necessity for these. Right? You've got a kind of an offset double button type setup here, so you've got one hidden button closer to the fly, and then you've got a nice metal button for your traditional closure, as well as a zippered waist. All right, no complaints with the zipper. It's YKK. And it seems to be the appropriate size for the pants. Right? It works well. It doesn't snag up or anything like that. Looking at your top pockets here, it's got a little reinforced tab for your knife clip there. Depending on the knife, that can be a little bit of a challenge because it adds that second layer of bulk there. So is it needed? I don't know. I've never really worn through my pants with my knife, but if you're concerned about that, it's there. And as long as you don't have some tiny little knife with a super tight belt clip, no worries there. Right? The thigh pockets here are a little different depending on the side. All right, so you've got a top pass through on your right side. I think that's cut for maybe a cell phone or an AR mag. I don't know if I'd put either of those there. I have used it for like a folding saw just to keep it handy for a few minutes, but then I don't leave it stored there. It's got a single button closure, which is kind of nice, so if you need to get into this thing, you can get in there without undoing the button, and then if you've got like a map or something, you can undo the button so you're not tearing the crap out of that pulling it out. And then the pocket itself is a stretch panel, which there's pros and cons to that. Right? It's not going to be stabbing you in the leg quite as much if you put something bulky in there, but it is an area that you might be a little bit more concerned about wear. And on this side, you do not have an internal pocket due to that pass-through, but you do have a little tie-down loop. Nope. Moving over to this side, you have your single button as well as a zipper. And then that one is also stretch with no internal pocket. You've got some articulated knees here, which will accept a pad. I have not done that. And if you're not going to use that feature, the knees do look a little goofy, but in passing they don't show up super well. It's just these lines here. Other colorways it might show up more, and that might be something worth noting. And then down at the bottom here, you got a lot going on. All right, so you've got a zipper there that is mesh lined. I'm a big fan of that. It does go all the way down, so you can get access to your boots better. All right, but it doesn't open up a whole lot there, just a couple inches. You have a adjustable cuff here. You can tighten that up. It is nice and reinforced. Now I've kind of made fun of this reinforced ankle in other videos, but these are a true outdoor pant, and I think that's warranted on something that's dedicated to the outdoors. And then you've got your little clip there, so these can work as gaiters fairly well. I don't typically use those, but the few times that I have, it has worked well. And then obviously same thing going on the other side, because it's your feet, and there's no reason to have that different. Looking at the back of these, it does have a slight gap in the belt loop on the back. I significantly prefer that over a centered belt loop. And then you've got stretch panels down on the back of the knees, so those are articulated nicely. With a little bit of stretch up by the waistband. That's also a feature that I'm a big fan of. And your back pockets, you have a zippered right back pocket and a flap over the left. And then the last feature that these have is vented side panels with mesh, so you don't have to worry about any critters crawling in there. I am a huge fan of that feature. The pants overall are pretty nice. They're a little bulky, so you don't get quite as much bulk with some of your more expensive pants. They're a little bit more refined. You don't get, your 6 layers of fabric going on up here with the stretch panel, and it's kind of a hot fabric. They're pretty heavy, so I would not make these hot weather pants intentionally, although the vents do help with that a little bit. All right, so there's the TruSpec 24/7 Xpedition pant. I appreciate your time, guys. Let me know if you got any questions.